Alright, what is up y'all? Good morning. It's me, Kasinal, and we are here in a 2016 Volkswagen Jetta
SEL with a 1.8
turbo, and I believe the trim is a SEL TSi or something like that. Anyways, this is loaned here by a good friend of mine. Let's just call her Miss K. And yeah, I'm actually kind of intrigued by this car. I mean, I did have a little incident way back when I was, I think, around 2021, when I had my 2001 Ford Focus ZX3 STI, not STI, so S2 edition. Yes, I had one of those special edition Focuses. I did get into an accident with a Jetta when I was just like going through a bridge or coming out of a bridge or something, and then, if you know Conroy Windermere, the Conroy Windermere Road, the apartment complex just after the bridge over I-4, with all those shopping complexes with Publix, Chick-fil-A, that area. There's a little place where people just pull up to wait for people. It's not the biggest, but that's where people usually wait because goddamn, that road is very busy. And a faithful Jetta was on that little strip just waiting. And then I got T-boned by it. It's not this specific model, but it was a Jetta. So, let's see if I can demystify this from my brain.
Which is an intercooled turbo inline-4 engine producing 170 horsepower. Very nice. These turbocharged i4s replaced the naturally aspirated 2.0s from previous years. In general, this engine is part of the 𝐂𝐄𝐒 family. However, this one is specifically the Gen 3B, or the Evo 3, rolled out around 2016-2017, refining their reliability as well as their emissions. They even still use this type of engine today, with the Gen 4 being rolled out in 2020. Paired with this engine, we have a 6-speed automatic. Sadly, no manual ever came with this, which sucks. A miles per gallon, 25 city, 36 highway. Godspeed.
Yeah, it feels like this car does have a faster acceleration, though it could be the fact that there are more cylinders here than the Big Bend Ford Bronco, so yeah. Alright, acceleration test. I know the angle's a bit weird, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, you can really hear that turbo. Sheesh! Yes! We're in 62 now. Passing. Hell yeah. Yeah, I feel like this Jetta is definitely, for 2016, I mean, it's fairly new, just 10 years old, but yeah. Somehow it's kicking the Bronco's ass, even though I'm pretty sure the Bronco has like, what, 3-4 cylinders, so I don't know what's up with that. But yeah. Great acceleration. Turning. Alright, we're all good. Oh shit, yeah. Alright. Suspension. It's not the best, but it's not shot up, so that's something. Like here. Got a big bump. Very smooth. If you remember with the Fiat 500L Urbana Trekking, that suspension was very, very bad. It's even on the big bump there, so props to that.
Yes, all very nice stuff, but I think it is time that we check out the interior of this car. Starting off with the switches of the door. On my left side, we got a door latch, lock and unlock, as well as the controls for the side mirrors. Window controls down below that. Near the speakers, there's this button where you can open the rear trunk. In front of me, of course, is the steering wheel and the dash. On the wheel, of course, centrally we have the horn. Left side, we have the cruise controls as well as the volume settings. Right hand side has multimedia buttons as well as phone connectivity, and that silver button actually controls what you see between the gauges. For the dashboard, we have the tachometer on the left side as well as the engine temp gauge. Right side contains the speedometer and the gas meter. In the middle, we have a small screen displaying various information like what gear you're in, how fast you're going, time, temperature, all stuff like that. We do also have vents on the left side in which you can control where it goes as well as the flow of the AC too. We got headlight controls, as well as a wheel in where you can control how bright your interior lights are. In the center of the dash, we also have more vents, 2 in fact. And in the middle of said vents, we have the emergency lights. Under that, we have the screen that shows off the infotainment information as well as the backup screen if you are reversing. Just under the screen, we got overall climate controls. Moving down, we got a tray as well as a cigarette lighter port and a USB port that's currently being utilized as well as the aux cord just to the right. Just ahead of that, we have the start-stop engine. We also have some dead buttons, which I'm not going to go over, but they're there. We got the good old shifter with the parking, reverse, neutral, drive, and S. This particular gear acts as the sport mode. Right by where I'm sitting, we have an actual lever handbrake. Hell yeah, I've been starting to miss these. We got 2 cup holders as well. And then, of course, the center console. Has a fair amount of space, nothing really special inside it. It's just there, and you know what? It serves. Finally, moving on to the front passenger side, we have a vent which they can control their airflow and direction. And then down below that, we have, of course, the glove box. The manual is there, and there's also a button which you can toggle the light within. Very nice. On the right side, of course, basically the same controls as on the driver's side, with the exception of the controls for the side mirrors, as well as only have controls for their own window. Gonna start doing this starting from now. We have the rear view mirror and some controls of the cabin lights up top too. But not just that, we also got controls for a moonroof. And we got maintenance, emergency buttons, speakers, places to put shades, and then the moonroof itself. I'll talk about this later, but in general the controls are pretty nice and I did find the controls to be pretty responsive, and it is electric, so there's that. Going out to the exterior, we have our white coat, which is apparently just pure white, rim diameter being 17 inches all over, while the drivetrain is front wheel drive. Oh yeah, very, very nice. However, it is time that we take a look at the back of the cabin, so let us go there please.
Ooh, spacious. Alright, so here we are at the back of the 2016 Jetta TSi Turbo, 4.5 liter, whatever. There's a lot of space here, I gotta say. This is like the most space I've had since the RAV4 that we have. Man, a lot of knee space. The Big Ben was like the second most amount of knee space, but yeah. But at least with the height from the top of my head to the roof, it's a little bit close, like 2-3 inches to the top. Not the best. I'm like what, 5'6", 5'7", and yeah. There's no pocket, seat pocket here, but there's one in the front, the rear of the front passenger seat. So that's interesting. I'll say that. Here as well, we have some cubbies where you can literally just deposit some stuff. Very interesting. And a 12 volts cigarette lighter outlet. Very, very nice. Steering controls, latch, roll down window if you can. There's a speaker here as well. It's like a tray thing or lace. And there you can put some items in as well. And the tradition continues with cup holders here. Very, very lovely. The material as well. I mean, all around. Leather. Very, very nice. Very plush leather. Now, it's going to be a pain later in the summer, especially for Floridians, so big sad. I don't own this, but whoever does, all around, everyone's going to have to suffer. I'll tell you that. But nonetheless, very lovely. Oh, and there's also some lights here. So it looks like the switch here is actually gone. So there goes that, I guess. I can't even twist it. That's funny. Oh, of course. And I'm child locked in here. Cool. Motherfucker, are you serious? That's actually crazy. Alright, so here we are, back of the TSi Jetta, and here's the key fob, lock, unlock trunk, and unlock in general. So, let's unlock the trunk. There you go. You see my stuff here. motorcycle gear, and yeah, there's actually a lot of cargo space. Is there a thing here? No. Yes, there is actually, yes. And it's a jack. Very, very nice. Maybe some tools underneath too. Very cool. I do like the mat. Seeing these, which not sure what those are. I don't think those are tire jack things. Maybe they're just for the back there. I saw it on this side too. Oh, connects, or there's like some material under there that some kind of Velcro to attach it to, at least here. So that's nice. It's not really sticking here. Oh, because it's on this side, that's why. Well, it's something. There's, like I said, a fair amount of cargo space here. And yeah, trunk here. That's the back.
Oh yeah, very, very nice overall, I must say. Driving feel, pretty nice. I really, really like that turbo. Yes, it's not anything crazy, but it does get you up to speed a little bit faster, and it is just rewarding to hear that spoof after you let go of the throttle, even if it's not that audible. Throttle response is nice, brakes are cool, responsive, steering, same thing. You can feel where the hell I'm going as usual. Everything seems well placed too, with the exception of the central gauges, at least in my opinion. If I decide to lift the wheel, I can see through said wheel, but it'll feel kind of awkward to me, so I just set it to where it is now. Yeah, that's essentially a trade-off, but nonetheless, still nice. Visibility too, the A-pillars are pretty thick, but I got used to it. I mean, if you're in a lower sitting position, I'm pretty sure pillars like these are forgivable. And the quality of the buttons, they're not that bad. I tried out the buttons and completely made my review yet, but just utilizing them, I mean, compared to the buttons here, the Bronco felt more cheaper. Here, it's still plastic, but not that cheap, you know? Looking at the aesthetic in general of this particular Jetta, it's sleek, clean. If you don't like hard, aggressive edges, there you go. Here you go. It's somewhat curvy, has some divine edges, but it's not like a Honda Civic Type R or whatever. Not too flashy, one can say, and people kind of like that. It's okay to be ordinary. However, I do of course wish that there was a more appealing color to me, whether it was green or red. I like flashy colors, though this is fine. I can't help but say it. I like the vehicle. I wish I had more time with it. I wish it was mine. However, it's just a rental, and I enjoy my time with it, so there's that. Trunk space is nice, can get me from point A to point B. Maybe if I wanted to, for some reason, I could modify it. I don't know if I want to do that because my wallet kind of sucks right now, and I don't even know how the support is for mods on this particular car. Though, just as a standard vehicle, I would be very happy with this. So essentially, all in all, hell yeah. If you have the money, maybe check it out. So, do I forgive that Jetta harming my Ford Focus long ago back in 2020 or how long that was? Somewhat. Not really, but somewhat. Though I must disclose it's not really this particular generation of Jetta, it was like a generation 2 older. However, I can now say that I tried out a Jetta and that I am happy with it. And yeah, that's going to be it for this review. Thank you all for watching, leave a like for this episode, and I shall see you in another episode, video you watch next in this channel or my other channel next time. Peace out, y'all.